your life and business. It's Jessica Brill here, and I'm thrilled. I'm so excited to talk about overwhelm. I'm thrilled to talk about overwhelm. You know what? It sounded so much better when I was thinking about it than when it came out. I'm excited to be here talking to you tonight about overwhelm to focus and specifically telling me what you want. Sherry, thanks for the love, girl. Can you, I'm guessing you can hear me. So I went live last week and I had no volume. And, that's always the, first world problems, right? But always the fear going like, can you hear me? Technology is working. I'm in a hotel room. I'm away for work right now. Thanks, Sherry. Appreciate it. And I'm making it happen because I got Wi-Fi, I have computer, I have paper, I have water. Life is good. What else can I possibly be wanting? So, okay, before I get started, I'm a little obsessed. It's always backwards. With my little, do you love this, you guys? Isn't it so fun? I met a new friend on the weekend. I love meeting new friends. And I've been following her on Instagram and on Facebook. And I'm obsessed with her creations. And she has super fun crystals. It's kind of hard in the light. Crystal hair sticks. Anyway, I think it looks cute. So I'm distracted by its cuteness before I get started. But this is just what I'm like. I'm really excited to talk about overwhelm and focus and really what you want. So let's talk about overwhelm for a second. Who's not overwhelmed right now? Women, you ladies, oh my God, I love you so much. And we have so much going on in our life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, you have a partner, you're married, you work a corporate job, it doesn't matter. You have fur babies. We have so much going on. And it seems like, and in my circle, and the women who I call in and who are attracted to me, I'm attracted to them. We're driven. We are driven. And I always think about it like we are up to big things and we want to be up to bigger things. And we think, gosh, if I'm feeling overwhelmed now and I want bigger things in my life, how on earth am I going to feel when that happens? If I'm already feeling overwhelmed today. So the key for me, not for me, like my opinion, what I'm practicing is about creating focus and space. I know space is hard for me. So this is always me learning too as I go, but creating that focus in the space to move into that next level in your life. So as I'm going, if you have any questions, type your questions in. And if this is landing, show me some love, or like it, love it, whatever, just so I know that I'm landing. And if you're catching this on the replay, thank you. And you can just put hashtag replay and let me know if you have any questions along the way. But we're going to get started. I learned this year my favorite, I struggle with the definition of overwhelm. And my coach said, overwhelm means you have a lack of commitment to your commitments. I'm like, oh, damn, that hits hard. And so I sat with it. I'm in overwhelm because I'm lack of commitment to my commitments. Okay, I can see that. I'm open to looking at that in my own life. Then I had someone else that I was listening to live, and they said, overwhelm means you have a lack of commitment to your commitments and a lack of planning. And I let that sink in for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I can see that in my life. I see when I have a lack of planning, I am in overwhelm. I can see when I have a lack of commitments. And what I mean by a lack of commitment is trying. I've said this before in this group, but when we like, oh, I'll try it, or you're wishy-washy. You're not totally in, I kind of want to do this. Yeah, you understand. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So like when you're not fully committed to something, You get into overwhelm because you're like, oh, well, I could be doing this, I could be doing this, I could be doing this, and then you're kind of nowhere, if that makes sense. And I would add, so I wrote it down because I like to be clear. Overwhelm is a lack of clarity too, because I know I can get into overwhelm really easily when I'm not clear on my priorities, when I'm not committed, when I haven't planned things out, and then I can really go into overwhelm. So, how's this landing for you? Does this resonate? Am I triggering you? And you're like, no, Jessica, I don't agree with that, and that's okay. I'm asking you to be open to it, to think, does this sound like me? And of in my overwhelm, and when I'm feeling that I get frustration, I get like a feeling in my chest, it feels like heavy. You can feel it, right? And when I'm feeling that, I'll sit back and I'll think, okay, I'm overwhelmed, now what? And I will go to those three things. Okay, am I clear? Am I committed? Am I organized or planned? And I'll know right away which one I get to look at, which of those areas I get to look at. I'm like, gosh, I'm not really committed on this one thing, and I get to be committed or not. And that's okay. Both are good. But I just get to make that decision because we can't be committed to everything in the moment. We get to be committed to one thing at a time. Multitasking, well, we're not going to talk about multitasking today because we got so much to cover. So just sit with those definitions of overwhelm. Tell me how that's landing for you and where you feel like you could be doing a bit of a leaning or a stretch even in that day. So let's talk about clarity, because getting out of overwhelm starts with being clear. Starts with going, what do I want? Because no matter what is happening, no matter how overwhelmed we are, when we're overwhelmed, we're on a wheel and we're just spinning out. When we can get some clarity on what we want, then we have some focus. It starts to create some focus. We get clear, we can be committed, and we can plan it out. Okay? So, but I also would argue that what you want is the $1 million question. And when I ask, what do you want? It is followed promptly up with, I don't know. Right? And that's okay too. What I know for sure is we do know what we want. And it's usually buried deep inside, and it's covered up by other people's expectations, our own expectations, society's expectations, our boss's expectations, our partner's expectations, our children's expectations. But it's there, I promise. And we're gonna start to uncover that this week. Specifically today, I'm going to give you a couple tools to walk away to start to say, let's start with being clear. Now, the reason we're doing overwhelm the focus is at least 2 weeks, as well as it can be longer. But we get to start here. Where am I right now? I'm overwhelmed right now. So in order to start to shift that, we go, what do we want? So the first thing I do is I give myself permission to get under everybody else's, like sweep away everyone else's expectations of me. And that can be a lot of expectations, and to uncover and give myself permission to want the things that I want. So I feel I might have shared this story before, but I'm going to share it again. So I'd say probably like 3 or 4 years ago, probably closer to 4 now, me and 2 girlfriends decided, let's do a vision board day, the 3 of us. So I got magazines, we're sitting on the floor of my office, and we're cutting out pictures. And I was completely paralyzed. And they're like glue sticking stuff and making it. And I'm like, literally, you guys, I was like, overwhelmed. Started coming up. I'm like, I have no idea what I even want. And everything that would pop in my mind that I wanted, I'd be like, oh, you can't want that. You shouldn't want that. And I would argue to say, I had everything I wanted. Is that you? Tell me. I'd love to know that. Like, do you ever feel that way? Like, I have everything I could possibly want. How dare I want more? I have a great job, a great partner, great kids. I have a house, I have a car. I make, money. I have food on the table. We go on vacations. I don't want more. Like, who do you think you are? You want more than what you've got? And I was really judgmental of myself. And so it was really hard for me to want bigger things. I want a business. I want to serve women. I want to coach, you know, and I couldn't even articulate one thing. So if that's you, please know you are, trust me, that's where I was. I was sitting on a floor in my office with a glue stick in my hand and nothing on a Bristol board. Do Americans call it Bristol board? I don't know if that's a Canadian thing, but like, a poster board. And I was just paralyzed. And then I said, okay, I knew intellectually that this was everyone else's shit that was coming up for me. So I decided, what if, and I remember Brene Brown had talked about this, and she said she was going on Oprah, and she had a little post-it note, and she said, I give myself permission, I think she said, to have fun and be silly. I'm pretty sure she said something along those lines for the very first time she was meeting Oprah. And so that's what I did. I said, I'm going to give myself permission to want what I want and not judge it. So in this exercise, I'm going to give myself permission. I want you to give yourself permission. I will give you permission to want those things that you want, and that's okay. And this is a safe space to want those really big things for you. Those things where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I want that. So just start with that. Just really about giving yourself permission to do that. So I give myself permission to want what I want. And then what I want you to do is just to sit in a chair. And I know we're busy, but let's just sit in a chair, and we'll just sit in a chair for 5 minutes. We don't have to do it right now. So what I would invite you to do is get in, sit for 5 minutes breathing. And if you find it helpful, repeat. I give myself permission to want what I want. And ask yourself over and over and over again, what do I want? And be relentless. Be relentless? Yes, be relentless. And keep asking. Keep asking, keep asking, keep triggering that in yourself. For 5 minutes, breathe and ask yourself that. And if you have to toggle in between giving yourself permission and asking yourself what you want, keep going. Asking yourselves once isn't going to work. Let's be a toddler. My toddler, she got things that she wanted. Why? Because she asked me a million times. So she ended up getting what she wanted. But seriously, keep asking what you want, right? Keep asking. Oh, what do I want? And breathe and get in tune. And surrender. And even if you have to be like, I let go of expectations, I let go of judgment, surrender your judgment, surrender all of that. And just start to see what comes up. And if you find it helpful, you can journal it out. I am a reluctant journaler. I have friends that are the bomb at it. I'm not that person. I do journal, but I do love talking. If you guys know me, I like to talk. But journaling can help. So grab a piece of paper and just, what do I want? What do I want? And start with that. And don't judge it. And maybe in this moment, and you can just keep writing every single thing that comes to your mind. And that's okay too. Sometimes it helps us to get it out. But 1 or 2 or 3, a small handful of things will start to come to the surface. And those will be those things every time I say, what do I want? I start saying the same things, right? I want freedom. I want time freedom. I want location freedom. I want financial freedom. What do I want? Freedom. That comes up a lot for me. I'm not sure if that resonates with you, but just whatever starts to come up, don't judge it and just write it down and just to notice what it is. And we're going to get into more about that as the week goes, but that's it. I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it one step. We're not into overwhelm. We're just going to do one thing at a time. Because when we're in overwhelm, we're also doing too many things at once. And sometimes I get it. We have a lot of responsibility. I have a corporate job. I have 3 kids. I have a business. I'm planning a conference, and I have a partner who really loves my attention. Not to mention my friends and me, right? So I get it. Trust me, we have a lot on the go, and we get to figure out how we can focus on one thing at a time and get all of our things done too. Does that make sense? Um, Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a like that you're following along, that you've landed. And this is really, when we're talking about what we want, this is really session 1 of Amplify Your Impact Conference. So that's another reason why I'm doing Overwhelm to Focus this week, because I really want to highlight how important these topics for this conference is. So if you're local or if you're not local and you're interested in learning more information about Amplify Your Impact, I'm going to drop the link to the event in the comments. And I have a coupon code right now. It's called Amplify Me, and it saves $75 off your ticket until the end of the month. So we're going to talk about clarity. We're going to talk about what's stopping you, which I'm taking all of next week to talk about what's stopping us, because we stop ourselves a lot. We stop ourselves so short of what is really possible for ourselves. So it's going to be amazing. So yeah, what do you want? And then what I would love, if you, after going through this exercise, that's right, we're like, if something is really coming up for you and you're like, wow, I was not expecting that, comment, let me know, let the community know. A lot of times, what I know for sure is that women who are feeling these feelings, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. So when like I said, 4 years ago, and I'm sitting on the floor in my office with a blank page in front of me, paralyzed. I knew what I wanted. I knew that what I'm doing right now, this community, this conference, I knew that this is what I wanted. And it scared the shit out of me because I was already trying to figure out how in the world I was going to figure that out, when in that moment I was feeling so overwhelmed already. And so I was able to start implementing all of the stuff I'm going to talk about this week, so I could create clarity and create focus as well. Does that make sense? So Amplify Your Impact Conference, if you're interested in tickets, Amplify Me is a coupon code. And otherwise, as you're going through this, share, please. And even if you're brave enough to go and do a Facebook Live in this group to tell us what you found, what you discovered today about yourself, I would love to hear it. And you're welcome to just private message me if that feels more comfortable for you as well. All right. Thanks, ladies. I hope this was helpful. My goal is to keep these somewhere, definitely under 20 minutes, somewhere around the 15 to 20-minute mark. Because why? Because we're busy. Damn right we're busy. All right. Have an awesome night. If you have any questions, let me know. Pardon me. And then I will see you tomorrow for day 2. All right. Bye.